Next up is Proposition 130, Funding for Law Enforcement. It was placed on the ballot by a citizen initiative. It would amend the Colorado statutes to direct the state to spend $350 million to help recruit, train, and retain local law enforcement officers, and require the state to provide a one-time $1 million death benefit to the family of each state and local law enforcement officer killed in the line of duty. More details can be found in your Colorado Blue Book. Here are the pros and cons for Proposition 130.
Those in favor of Proposition 130 say, law enforcement is a critical and underfunded public need. This measure funds law enforcement without raising taxes. The state has a vested interest in ensuring that local governments can recruit and retain the best police officers possible to protect Coloradans and their property. Recent legislation has increased costs to local police departments without providing any new funding to cover these costs. Providing additional compensation for families of fallen officers upholds a social obligation to honor their sacrifice. Local law enforcement agency death benefits differ, with some providing fewer benefits than others. This measure guarantees that no matter where a fallen officer worked, their family will receive compensation for their loss.
Those opposed to Proposition 130 say no evidence exists to demonstrate that increased funding to law enforcement agencies has made communities safer. Proposition 130 directs the legislature to spend millions without considering local decisions about public safety needs or the state's broader public safety obligations. The measure only funds law enforcement instead of alternatives to traditional policing, such as social workers and behavioral health professionals, or programs such as access to affordable housing, jobs, healthcare, and education. Proposition 130 may not be implemented in a way local communities expect. The measure only explicitly requires the legislature to provide the death benefit, while the grant funding to local law enforcement agencies will depend on future legislative decisions. Local communities may anticipate levels of funding that the legislature cannot provide due to limited resources and differing priorities, creating uncertainty for local communities who will be unable to budget for this funding.